Hi, I'm Nico,
Ryan.
and we're going to be telling you about basic filmmaking terms and what they mean, and how they can help you in your iMovie.
We'll start off today with close-ups. Close-ups are when a camera is right up in the character's face. This helps depict emotion and response.
Yeah. And then we have medium shots. Medium shots can be from kind of wide, but not too far.
I'd say typically can be full body, typically waist up.
Yeah.
With a little bit of back.
Yeah. It's going to show most of your subject in the shot, and you'll be able to get a good view of whatever it is you're looking at.
And then we got wide shots. What wide shots do is they hold the full character with parts of a background for, let's say, setting purposes or dramatic effects.
Yeah. Rule of thirds would be if a film is example, it's in kind of a 9 grid, a 3x3 grid. And you want the lines to show where it is that your subjects or persons are going to be. So, for example, me and Ryan are basically on the lines right now. Ryan would need to move a little bit more to the left, and then he'd be more on the lines. Now, some angles that there are Dutch angles, where there'd be like a tilt, kind of like this, where it can just, it's kind of weird, and you don't really see it too much in movies, but it can work really well if usable.
And low angle shots, which kind of depict strength. A character who is shot from below tends to be powerful and almost almighty.
Yeah. It's like, Ryan, stand up for a second. It's like right now, it shows Ryan from a low point of view. It should show Ryan he's powerful and strong. The opposite of that would be from a high angle, where it would show a subject that is small, and it would this basically shows the subject is weak, frail. And there are eyeline matches. Eyeline matches where it's synced up with the eyes, and you're able to see what the character is thinking, kind of, and you can get more emotion that they're giving off.
Likes to depict what a character is looking at and how the character responds to it.
Yeah. Next is montage. Montage can be made up of several different shots in a sequence. Now they don't have to be correlated to each other, but it can help, and it kind of just shows you time is passing. This can happen with music happening in the background, and it's happened several times in movies. It's mostly, I think it's been used in documentaries. It can be used.
Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
It's more like a progression type concept where you want to show a lot of things in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
That would otherwise be boring by themselves.
Now, exposure is how much lighting gets into your shot. You don't want too much lighting to be in it so that you can't see anything, and you don't want it to be too dark where you still can't see anything.
And it all depends on what type of emotion you're going for with the cinematography. You want scary, little exposure. You want bright and dreamy, high exposure.
And then there's memory storage. Now, with memory storage, in our cameras in Mr. York's class, you're going to be using these SD cards. You want to be careful when you're holding an SD card because they can be fragile and you don't want to lose them either. So know where your SD card is. Now, what you want to do is you'll insert this into your camera, and the footage, you want to port it over to the SD card in your camera, not internal storage. From there, you can eject the SD card from the camera and put it into the back of your computer. You can then export the footage to iMovie.
Focus. Now, focus is extremely important because it can be used in a lot of different things. If you want to focus on, let's say, a target up close with a blurry background to depict that they are the center of attention at the moment, or if you want to depict a person who is blurry with a focused background, this can depict that although they are directly in front of the camera, it's what's going on in the background that's important.
Altering the zoom can also affect the focus too. So keep that in mind.
A lot of zoom tends to blur the focus. With little zoom tends to be more of a clean, crisp shot.
Yeah, so keep that in mind when you're filming. When you're making a movie, you're going to be using storyboards and scripts. Now, me and Ryan and Gavin, we didn't use much scripts for ours.
Most of ours was improvisation.
But we did use storyboards. And storyboards is when you would create a shot, or you'd make a drawing and you'd put it on the paper and you would act out that drawing.
Now, your shots don't have to follow the storyboard 100%. What it mostly is an outline or a guide. all your basic ideas on paper so you don't forget it. Now this, you can vary from your storyboard as much as you would please, but you just want to keep it as a basis for your
Yeah,
movie.
they're just a basic concept, basically.
Now green screen special effects is extremely important. This is a very cool concept where you can, like let's say Nico and I did a project where we were in front of a castle. We can't actually go to a castle and film, so what we did was we filmed in front of a green screen and then uploaded a image of a castle in the background.
Yeah, it allows you to put things in the background behind your characters to kind of imitate them being there or imitate having something there behind them. Besides just a blank green slate.
It almost gives your movie ability to be beyond what is actually available for you at the moment.
Yeah. Now, lighting can be very important for your film. You want good lighting. You don't want it to be too bright. It kind of has to do with exposure. You want lighting to be able to see your characters. And lighting's important because it can also create mood and tone. Different color lighting.
That is everything. You want your lighting can control how people perceive your movie. A dark lighting makes the movie seem more scary or fearful. Bright lighting or normal lighting helps, give it a dreamy effect.
Audio levels are important for your movie.
Now, you don't want too dramatic of audio levels. Like if there's super loud talking going on against, let's say you got some background music, you want to turn down the audio so you can hear the audio, but it's not too drowning and you can still hear everything else going on in the background.
Yeah, basically what is mixing. So if you have two outputs getting talking, so let's say you have background music in your movie, there's music going on, people are walking around, and you cut to two people talking, you're going to tone down the music. You can still hear it, but it's faint, and so you can focus on the people that are talking. So you're basically alleviating two different musics or audios at the same time in the same clip.
Now, sound effects, most big production movies and stuff, they use sound effects over the sounds versus picking it up with a microphone.
Sound effects can be extremely varied in what you do. Most of the time, you're not even really recording what it is you're trying to do on purpose. So, like, for instance, bubble wrap. If you're trying to kind of film something breaking, you would film the bubble wrap, and you would hear the snapping of the bubbles, and that could replicate the snapping of something that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the sound effects you hear aren't actually what is being used.
But your brain thinks that it is.
Like if you see horses in movies that clop, it's actually made with I think two kind of coconut things clopping up against each other, and that's what emulates that in the sound.
So music soundtracks are very nice in movies because they give kind of an emotional feel a lot of times. Music is one of the things that really brings out the emotion of people. So if you put a soft melodic song in the background of a sad movie, it really adds to the tension of the movie.
Yeah, it can really fit the mood. So, for instance, Guardians of the Galaxy has an upbeat 80s punky music, and it makes you know you're going to have a fun and great time. Whereas a movie like Logan, it's full of slow, kind of big, ominous music to make it seem like it's going to be moody and more sad.
A and B rolls are important when filming documentary.
A-roll would be your primary shots. These are the things that you're going to be filming, people that are talking and you're interviewing. You'll have them voice over your secondary shots.
And now, B-roll is your secondary shots, the shots you put over it that kind of make an image out of the thoughts that you're saying.
Yeah, they're kind of there to fill the space, kind of a thing.
So
you're driving a car and you'll be filming the background as you're driving by, and you'll have somebody talking over the whole background as you're driving by.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're putting your footage into the computer, you want to take the SD card and you want to put it in the back of the computer. Once you insert the SD card carefully into the back of the computer, something should pop up that says that there's been an SD card that's been realized, or it should pop up something like an SD card has been found, and that's where you can click and import it into your iMovie.
You select all the clips that you want, highlight them, and select import, and they will show up into the My Media or project media of iMovie.
Yeah, at the bottom of your whole setup, you'll have just this blank space where you can put clips or photos of anything you found, and you can just put them into whatever order that you want at the bottom of your movie, and that'll be where your movie. You'll press space or start, and it'll start to go by, and you'll be able to see everything that's happening. With sound effects, I believe on iMovie to import audio or sound effects, you want to go in the top left, and it should be where you can find all of your footage. There's different tabs you can click. One of them should be like audio files or sound effects. Click that, and you'll be seeing a list of entire sound effects that should be on your computer. You click one of those, you can click and drag it, how much footage you want from that, and then you can put it under your clip, which will then have the audio playing over the clip simultaneously.
Next up are transitions. Now, transitions are nice when used in movies because it gives you like a smooth interchange between shots, and so it's not jumpy. Like, let's say you're moving from one key aspect of a plot to another. Now, this can be used in the movie Up. It was a pan shot through the hospital, and when it got to the wall, it faded to black, and then went to another cut scene. This added that because instead they would have to jump from scene to scene, and it would be one place and then the other. With the transition, it's much more smooth.
Next is to save. When you're done with your project, we can save it. We never even saved our
I
projects.
believe it's autosave.
Yeah. So when you save your projects, it should be auto-savable.
Mm-hmm.
Or I believe you can go on the top or the bottom right, and there should be an option to save your project. And to upload it, Ryan knows about that.
In the upper right-hand corner, there is a little share icon. Now, if you click on this share icon, it has a direct link to YouTube. You sign into your YouTube account or create one. If you don't have one, and it will ask you a few things like a description or a title, things like that, and then you just click upload and it goes right from iMovie.
Now, when you're making your movie, it's important to alter your color balance and make sure everything is all natural and it's all kind of balanced in a way. You want everything to fit in and sync up with the color. You don't want too much of one color to overtake another color, unless that is what you're going for, indicating like a mood. Reversing a shot, or no, well, to alter a color, if you go in the top right of above the clip box, there should be several different nodes you can click. One of the nodes has to do with the color of the clip. Using that, you can change the palettes, and you can show which hue you want more, whether it be red, green, or blue. Reversing a shot is in a similar fashion. That's just where you take a clip and you make it go backwards. So you'd be like saying something right now, and you go backwards. The way you do that, I think you go, isn't it? You go top right.
I believe it's the speedometer icon.
Yeah, it's the speedometer icon. You click that, and you can reverse the shot. So like right now, I'm thinking this whole thing will be reversed. I'm speaking right now to Ryan. So Ryan, you can pretty much say whatever you want right now, because I'm going to reverse the shot. He's not going to understand what you're saying. Yeah, and if you unreverse the shot, you'll be able to hear what Ryan just said. Speeding or slowing a shot, it's the same way as the speedometer. It's can either make it go really fast or really slow.
And
So-
there's an option on iMovie where you can actually insert your own speed as to what would you like if you're trying to match up with another.
Yeah, it has pre-built speeds you can choose, or there's a custom one where you can choose whatever percentage you want. So for instance, right now, probably going to be slowed down, and we're probably not going to slow it down too much. And now, Ryan, can you demonstrate sped up?
Well, sped up could be used in a lot of movies. Like we did one where we zoomed throughout the whole hallway.
What I meant, Ryan, is that I'm going to speed up the clip.
Okay.
So you can just say whatever you want. Again, well, you can't really say whatever you want. Just
Say words. Don't say faster. Words. Say a whole conversation. Words. Let's have a conversation. Brian, how was your day? Alright. That's pretty good. When you taking the finals. Me, I'm taking my finals. I'm taking some right. I'm exempt from second hours. Finals. What's your semester? First, which is chemistry. And take your first exam during your second hour. So you don't get disqualified. That's what I'm doing. That's a good idea. Awesome.
Alright, good.
so that's an example of a shot that's sped up. Next would be cropping a shot. This can be where you take something and you kind of focus in on a subject. This can be used with the Ken Burns effect, which is what we usually use it for. Ken Burns effect is where you slowly zoom in on a subject. So, for instance, Mr. York is back there. Yeah, see? And right now we're zooming in on him. So,
You can also zoom out.
yeah.
It has the iMovie allows you to set whatever, basically whatever you would like within the frame. No matter how much you want to zoom or how much you want to zoom out. And that concludes our video for today. Hope you learned some concepts of cinematography, and you can use these along with the program of iMovie to
But then you said don't
make your own movies at home. Get creative and have fun.
But isn't he talking to?
Now get out there and make a movie.
Make a killer, man.
Ryan.